Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. You are watching Hum Sab TV and I am Muneeb Hamid with the news in English. Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Saqib Nisar, once again rejects Nawaz's request to club 3 references. Former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's request to club the 3 references against him was once again rejected by the Chief Justice of Pakistan on Wednesday. The request was heard by Justice Saqib Nisar in chamber. During the hearing, Aisha Hamid appeared as Nawaz's lawyer. The Chief Justice of Pakistan, maintaining the objections of the Registrar Office, rejected the request to club the 3 references together. It was remarked that according to the Constitution, a request cannot be filed once an appeal has been rejected after review. Nawaz had adopted the stance in the request that in order to file a single reference on more than one property can be passed. In November, Inaccountability Court had rejected an application filed by the ousted Prime Minister to have 3 references filed by NAB against him and his family merged into one. Supreme Court orders temporary reopening of 3 banned Sharif sugar mills. In a surprising turn of events, the Supreme Court on Wednesday ordered the reopening of the 3 banned sugar mills owned by the Sharif family. The decision was taken after the failure of settlement between 5 sugar mills owners and workers. Now the 3-judge bench headed by Chief Justice of Pakistan Mia Saqib Nisar temporarily allowed the banned mills to start operating this season. Only 2 days ago, during the hearing of petitions filed by growers for the reopening of 3 relocated mills, Chaudhry sugar mills to Rahim Yar Khan, Hasib Waqas sugar mills to Muzaffargarh and Ittifaq sugar mills to Bahawalpur, Chief Justice of Pakistan Mia Saqib Nisar said that the banned mills will be reopened, but they may be asked to compensate the farmers. Government submits inquiry report on change in candidate declaration to Islamabad High Court. Deputy Attorney General finally submitted to the Islamabad High Court on Wednesday the much-awaited report of the Senator Raja Zafrul Haq-led committee relating to an inquiry into alteration in the declaration on the finality of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Justice Shaukat Aziz Siddiqui of the IHC had been seeking this report since November last year. After receiving the report, the court decided to hear the matter on a day-to-day basis. The committee was formed by Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz President Nawaz Sharif to fix responsibility for the introduction of a controversial amendment to the Khatm-e-Nabuwwat declaration for electoral candidates. Pakistan wins European Union praise for meeting GSP Plus criteria. The European Parliament has expressed satisfaction on the progress achieved by Pakistan in enacting new laws and developing new institutions for implementation of 27 core conventions of GSP Plus, according to a press statement released on Tuesday by the Ministry of Commerce. The statement added that the International Committee on International Trade also agreed to deliberate upon the possibility of upscaling the relationship with Pakistan from a beneficiary of GSP Plus scheme to a FTA partner in the future. The meeting of the International Trade Committee of the Parliament held in Brussels was called to discuss the second biennial assessment report of GSP Plus, the release stated. The European Parliament singled out progress on the International Action Plan for Human Rights as impressive and up to the European Union expectations. Pro-Brexit Tory MPs set out demands in letter to Theresa May to insist the UK make a clean break with the European Union. The MPs say the UK must not be stopped from negotiating trade deals with other countries once it leaves the European Union and must gain full regulatory autonomy. The letter was sent by European Research Group of Tory backbenchers headed by Jacob Rees-Mogg. Opposition critics accused the PM of being too weak to confront the hard Brexiteers in her own party. The letter, signed by 62 MPs, including several ex-ministers and former Conservative Party leaders Lane Duncan-Smith, includes a number of suggestions for securing a successful Brexit. It backs the PM's vision for Brexit as set out in her Lancaster House speech in January 2017, including leaving the customs union and single market. But it says she must ensure the UK can change its laws without authorization from the EU from the moment it leaves in March 2019. The MPs also insist the UK must be free to start its own trade negotiations during the planned 2-year transition period that would kick in after Brexit Day. Chinese warships enter East Indian Ocean amid Maldives crisis. Indebted Pacific nations alarmed. 11 Chinese warships reportedly sailed into the East Indian Ocean this month amid a constitutional crisis and state of emergency in the Maldives. Maldives are in debt to China for aid and infrastructure work China and India are in strong competition over the South China Sea Pacific countries. Now concerned China could make similar power play in region. A fleet of destroyers and at least one frigate, a 30,000-ton amphibious transport dock, and 3 support tankers entered the Indian Ocean, news portal Sina.com.cn said, without linking the deployment to the crisis in the Maldives or giving a reason. White House says Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner can do job without security clearance. United States President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner can continue in his role as a senior White House advisor, even if he does not obtain a security clearance, the White House said on Tuesday. Kushner has been operating under a temporary clearance for the past year while the Federal Bureau of Investigation conducts background investigation. Under an order issued on Friday by White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, Kushner will lose a temporary clearance in less than a week. White House spokesperson Sarah Sanders told reporters that Kushner will continue the work he has been doing the past year, whether he gets a full security clearance or not. He has been trying to get the Israelis and Palestinians back to the negotiating table. Turkey considers chemical castration for child abusers. Turkey's government said on Tuesday it would consider introducing chemical castration for child abusers after several cases of sexual assault on children have sparked public outcry. The courts will decide on the use and duration of chemical castration to limit or eliminate sexual desire. We wish to establish this again within a few days, said Justice Minister Abdul Hamid Gul. The government was putting the issue back on its agenda, he added. Turkey introduced the measure to chemically castrate those convicted of sex crimes in 2016, but the country's highest administrative court, the Council of State, stopped its implementation last August, saying its definition and limit were vague. 300 Sufis held after clash with Iranian police. Overnight clashes between followers of a Sufi Islam leader and Iranian police killed 5 members of the security forces and injured 30, Iranian media reported on Tuesday, the latest tensions between the mystical order and authorities. Over 300 were arrested. Supporters of Sufi leader Nurali Tabandeh have been holding sporadic sit-ins near his home in Tehran, worried that the 90-year-old former Deputy Justice Minister after Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution could be detained by police. That fear stems from the recent January protests in Iran which released detained Sufis. New woes for Netanyahu as associates probed in fresh graft cases. Israeli police said on Tuesday that 2 associates of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu were suspected of offering a judge promotion in return for closing a criminal case against the premier's wife. The new investigation stemmed from a separate probe into alleged bribery in the form of positive news coverage of Netanyahu in return for business concessions worth millions made public just hours earlier. The revelations came just after police said there were grounds to indict the Prime Minister himself in a separate case for bribery, fraud and breach of public trust. And the biggest challenge yet to the right-wing premier's long tenure in power. North Korea cancelled Pence Olympic meeting in South Korea, says United States. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence was due to meet North Korean officials at the Winter Olympics last week, the U.S. officials have said, but the North Koreans pulled out at the last moment. Mr. Pence was in the South Korea for the opening of the Winter Olympics. A spokesman said he was scheduled to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yo-jong, among others. It would have been the first official interaction between North Korea and the Trump administration. State Department spokeswoman Heath Nauert said when the possibility arose of a brief meeting with the North Korean delegation, Mr. Pence was ready to take this opportunity to drive home the necessity of North Korea abandoning its illicit ballistic missile and nuclear programs. Emails from Australian accused of spying James Ricketson show no evidence of Cambodian plot. Emails from an Australian man accused of espionage in Cambodia shows a strongly worded dislike of Prime Minister Hun Sen and enthusiastic support for the opposition, but nothing remotely akin to spying. Emails show the filmmaker had access to opposition leader and was excited to be part of a major news event. The Australian was generous in praise of opposition and critical of ruling party. James Ricketson has been in pre-trial detention since his arrest in June 2017, prompting Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to write to the Cambodian government to express concern about the case. If convicted, Mr. Ricketson could be jailed for 10 years, but he denies the charges. For the past 2 weeks, the 68-year-old Australian has attended a Phnom Penh court to answer questions that have focused on correspondence from his seized laptop. Top Bahrain rights activist Nabil Rajab sentenced to 5 years in prison. Prominent Bahraini rights activist Nabil Rajab was sentenced to 5 years in prison on Wednesday after he was convicted over critical comments he allegedly made on Twitter about the government. His lawyer and activist said Rajab, a leading figure in pro-democracy protests that swept Bahrain in 2017, was sentenced over tweets which criticized airstrikes in Yemen by a Saudi-led coalition of which Bahrain is a member, and accusing Bahraini prison authorities of torture. The charges cited laws which bar insulting a neighboring country and insulting national institutions. There was no immediate comment from the Bahraini government on the reports. Rajab was already serving a 2-year sentence over January 2015 news interview in which he was accused of saying that Bahrain was torturing political prisoners. And now the sports news. PSL 2018 lifts hopes for tournament to be held entirely on home ground next year. The Pakistan Super League launches its 3rd edition in Dubai on Thursday with a 6th team, more international stars, and hopes that the 2020 tournament would be staged entirely on home ground in 2019. The decision to stage the 3 final matches of the PSL in Lahore and Karachi could pave the way for the entire tournament to be staged in Pakistan next year. The new Multan Sultans and the confirmation of a slew of international greats such as Shane Watson and Brendan McCullum have given a lift to fans eager to forget the last year's spot-fixing scandal. The Sultans, bought by the Scon Group for $5.2 million, twice the price tag of the previous most expensive team in the franchise. The Karachi Kings are coached by legendary Pakistani paceman Wasim Akram and skippered by Shoaib Malik. And now the weather update for the next 24 hours. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. And that is the end of the news. For more news and updates, keep watching Hums Up TV. Please subscribe to Hums Up TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching Hums Up TV.